Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg, episode 313. Today, continuing my little Final Fantasy kick, I guess, with Final Fantasy VI Brave New World. This is a ROM hack for FF6 that it's pretty much the most popular ROM hack that fixes and alters and adjusts a lot of things compared to vanilla. Most notably, stuff like it completely changes the Esper system. So now, basically, what it tries to do is it tries to make each character feel far more unique. Whereas in the original version, any character can equip any Esper, and they can all basically just become unstoppable magical killing machines. This version tries to correct that and make each character have a unique identity. Part of that is each character is heavily restricted in which Espers they can equip. So like Sabin right now, the only one available to him among this whole list is Stray. That's it. So this heavily restricts what magic is available to each character. But additionally, when you have Espers equipped, you don't just gain a bonus every time you level up. Instead, you gain a separate level called Esper level. And basically, you accumulate Esper levels as points that you can then spend amongst the Espers available to each character to provide stat bonuses. So right now, Sabin has 3 Esper levels banked, and I could spend as many as I want of those 3 on Stray to provide 2 stamina each time. All the stats have been reworked a bit in what exactly they do, so that basically every stat is important in some aspect. Right now I'm banking the levels because I don't know if I don't really want to go for stamina. Stamina for Sabin basically dictates like the power of Aura Bolt and Mantra and Chakra, things like that. Fire Dance, I believe, maybe, I'm not exactly sure, but I'd rather him go into Vigor, which is for physical damage, for like pummel and suplex, things like that. Additionally, you gain SP or spell points or whatever, which also bank, and then you spend those to acquire spells from each Esper available to you. So right now, Celis only has 8. Costs 15 for me to get haste from Phantom, but other than that, I'm pretty much decked out for Celis. But she could spend her Esper levels in a number of different ways, getting Vigor and Stamina, Magic, Magic Speed, Vigor. If you want her to become like a really magical character or a really physical character, or some sort of hybrid of sort of a magic knight. It just, yeah, so it makes each character feel way more unique, but also allows for some customization and builds within those characters, mostly dependent on Espers and stuff. So many other things have been adjusted and fixed so that every character is like viable and interesting. Even characters that I've never used in Final Fantasy VI, like Gao or Realm, are now really interesting. I did the floating continent with Realm in my party. That has never happened before. So it's definitely a difficult mod. I would not recommend it for first timers, but so far it's been pretty enjoyable. And I basically wanted to try it out because I wanted to see if it was viable for Two Brothers Play in the future, rather than just doing vanilla Final Fantasy VI. I think it could be. I think it could be, especially because it really does not require any grinding. Like, level cap in this ROM hack is 50, and basically you cap out, it's like a soft cap at 30. You're expected to sort of beat the game in your mid-30s, which is achievable just by playing through the game and fighting battles as you go. So, yeah, that's that. This week, I was quite ill. Started like Tuesday, pretty much lasted through Friday. So, I don't know what it was really. Obviously, the common fear is that, oh, it's coronavirus. I can't say whether it was or wasn't. I mean, I probably should go and get like an antibody test in a couple weeks just to find out. I certainly, if you go down the list of coronavirus symptoms, I had plenty of them. But they were all like the common ones, which is also the common symptoms of the flu. So I don't know. That's why it's tricky. And I don't know how I really got sick. I never leave the house. So I assume something just on like a package that was delivered, which is pretty horrific. So it was not fun. Not a fun experience. It's definitely the sickest I've been in probably 10 years, 12 years. I very rarely get ill. So, yeah, that was something. So that that affected the release schedule somewhat this week. It didn't affect Exploring Series. I mean, maybe the quality of the video is not up to my usual standards. That could be. But it didn't affect any sort of release. It did affect Mangg's LPs a little bit, though. For one, I didn't do Mangg's variety stream on Wednesday. So we'll have to push that to this coming week. And I just was not up to recording any Marvel's Avengers for a while. So that's why there was a couple Dragon Quest videos in a row there that I just had pre-recorded. Overall, not that big of an impact. I wasn't sick for that long. And luckily I recovered in time for Two Brothers Play yesterday. Well, thank you, Candy Star. So this week on this channel, then, we had Dragon Quest IV and Marvel's Avengers with a little bit of Two Brothers Play mixed in there. That is going to be the same schedule for next week. But hopefully we will get the variety stream in there this week. Yep. That's that. Over on the Exploring series, I released a video on feels like a very long week. I'm trying to remember through the haze of my fever dreams. God. something. No, it was the spider one, right? Yeah, it was the spider one, falling out. That did all right. Since I didn't advertise that there were spiders involved whatsoever. And this week I worked on another DJ Cactus one with it was a collab with Wodenaz. Basically a scenario in which some members of the Church of the Broken God get together with some members of Are We Cool Yet? And some pretty remarkable things happen. It's called Such Black Light. It's a pretty wild little SCP, very abstract. It's one of those abstract ones where there's like, I can't just Google for images for this shit. It just doesn't work that way. So I just went with the old fractal art. It always works out. And with stuff like that in the past, usually there's been like a piece of art from Zange or Sunny Clockwork created for the SCP that I can use as a thumbnail, but this time there wasn't even that, so I had no idea what to use for the thumbnail. I ended up just going with one of the fractal art images from the video, which I thought looked pretty cool, but I guess, I mean, what else can I do, really? I'm glad you enjoyed the Ouroboros cycle. Fuck. God damn it. How am I liking Avengers? It has its moments where I feel like, oh, this is a good game. This is fun. I'm having fun. But then there's always a reminder that it's a live service game designed to continually make money, and then I sort of stop having the fun. I mean, there's certainly room for a good experience there, but I just think so far the overall design philosophy has greatly hindered it. And I really would have preferred like just an individual single player game made for any of the Avengers. Like, yeah, obviously I'd prefer the Hulk to have his own game. But even if they came out and said, hey, we're making a Black Widow game, or we're making a Hawkeye game, I think it would have been just a more focused, enjoyable experience from start to finish. I think that if you're an Iron Man fanboy, or a Thor fanboy, or a Hulk fanboy, you're going to end up sort of disappointed by the experience. If you're an Avengers fanboy and you just love everything to do with the Avengers and Marvel and you just soak it all up, yeah, you'll probably like it. Because it's literally designed for you. You know, this faceless consumer. that just absorbs anything and will slap down money for anything. But I don't think there are that many people, so I don't know. I mean, I bought it as a Hulk fanboy, but so far in the campaign, the amount of gameplay you get to be as the Hulk is pretty limited. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a cash grab. It's a game put out there with plenty of mechanics built to just keep you playing and keep you putting money into it for years. It's sort of, you know, a new age MMO in a sense. Which can work. I mean, Destiny 2 is still going strong. A lot of people are playing it. So it can work. It's just, I don't think it's that great of a game. Just as a video game. And that's sort of the important thing, whether it's a cash grab or not. So I'm disappointed because I would have rather have just had a modern Hulk video game. So I'll keep playing it, but I'm not enamored with it. I'm not like playing it in between like recording videos for it. I'm not going online and like, oh, I gotta grind out the Hulk and keep getting strong. It's like, that does not interest me. So I'm certainly not hooked to it like they want me to be hooked to it. And also, you know, I looked at the store on there where you like can buy new skins and stuff. They want $14 for like a new skin for the Hulk or something. It's just like, that's insane. That's insane. You know how many games, like awesome games, I could buy on Steam for $14 or less? So yeah. Anyways, it's a ridiculous amount of money when considering that it's literally just like a piece of digital art for one character. I can't imagine it took that long for someone to make, and they want to charge $14. Catch the PS5 review. Yeah, we should talk about PS5 and the Switch had Nintendo had a little reveal thing as well. So PS5 coming out in November for $400 for the digital version. 500. No, that can't be. Yeah, $500 for the version with a Blu-ray. I'll probably end up getting just the digital version. I was moving towards digital only with the last console generation. I'm not one of those people that just I must have physical Blu-rays. I understand the argument. And I think going digital only allows for some more scummy business practices on their part, but just convenient. It's just really fucking convenient. And they know it. So paying an extra $100 just so I could maybe buy Blu-rays. It's not really worth it to me. So they had a big fiasco with the pre-orders where they were like, oh, the pre-orders are going live tomorrow. You know, mark your calendars. And then all the retailers were like, go fuck yourself. We're doing it right now. So there was just this big clusterfuck with the pre-orders. I didn't even like... when I was like 19 or 20, maybe I would have just like stayed up all night or whatever and been all up on it. But remember, I was ill. So I was not in any state of mind to be pre-ordering PS5s this week. Even if it had gone smoothly, I doubt I would have gotten one. So no, I didn't get a pre-order. And I would certainly pre-order if I could. And they say that more pre-orders are going up and they're going to have consoles throughout the rest of the year. And truth be told, the only thing I care about at launch is Demon's Souls Remake. That seems like to be the only game that's going to be available at launch. So I don't really know what to do. If I can nab a pre-order and get it at launch, that'll be great. If not, I'm not missing out on much. But, yeah. Demon's Souls, originally they were like, it's coming to PS4 or PS5 and PC. And I'm like, oh, it's coming to PC. Yes, this sounds awesome. Maybe I don't even need a PS5. And then they're like, no, we were just kidding. It's only coming to PS5. Which makes sense. I mean, Demon's Souls never came to PC or anything. The other stuff that I'm interested in PS5, like the new Horizon game, the new Ratchet and Clank game, the new Spider-Man game, none of that seems like it's coming out at launch. So it's not urgent that I get it right away, but we'll see. If I do, whenever I do, there will be a Demon's Souls remake Let's Play. Yeah. They announced, of course, Final Fantasy 16. Which looks to be The Witcher Final Fantasy Edition. I mean, really, like, if I took a couple still frames from that trailer and showed it to somebody that was a fan of The Witcher, they'd think it was like a new DLC or I don't know. It looked very similar. It looks pretty good. I like that they're going to just like this pure medieval fantasy, which I guess is trying to think of whenever they've never had like a pure medieval Final Fantasy. Because usually the presence of airships throws that out of whack. And I guess this one probably does have airships as well. So in that case, it's similar to just like the first 5 Final Fantasies. 6 is really the one that started to bring in a lot more technology Magitech, things like that. And then from then on, it was all pretty varying levels of high tech. I guess 9 wasn't too crazy. 10 wasn't that crazy because technology was like forbidden. And then, we got up to like 13, which was just absurd with the sci-fi elements. And 15 was closer to like 6. Well, I prefer a more high-tech or low-tech world for Final Fantasy. Well, I guess I sort of like the juxtaposition. I don't like super high-tech like all around, but I like lower tech with some stuff, with some with some guns. And airships are usually just a given. Like a completely low-tech Final Fantasy is just a bit too generic for them, I feel. Like that's better left for Dragon Quest. Final Fantasy has almost always been about these sort of weird juxtapositions. When they go too far into the high-tech realm, then it gets sort of ridiculous, and that's why I felt like 13 seems so high-tech with robots and all this, and guns and explosions everywhere, but then you have characters that are still just like punching things, and it's like, I don't know. I like where it's like, okay, the norm is swords and sorcery, but then you have some characters that shoot guns. And it's like, that's not that ridiculous compared to just the guy that's sort of a fantasy monk style, just punching things. But I think it does need to be somewhere in the middle. So I mean, it looks good. I'm certainly excited for it. Which Final Fantasy had the best balance between high and low tech environments? I'd probably say 6. Which is right, when they started introducing a lot more of the tech elements, but they didn't go overboard like with 7. 7 became just like a modern setting. Final Fantasy VI is still a fantastical setting, just with modern elements. And that, I think, is where Final Fantasy is at its prime, is a fantasy setting with modern elements, not the other way around. Now, maybe I'm biased because 6 is my favorite of the games, but... I mean, but that's what I've always liked about Final Fantasy, is that they continually just change things up. Every single game, it's always going to be a unique experience. For better or for worse, they experiment. And 16 is it's being produced by the main guy behind 14, and it's being directed by one of the guys that did part of 14. I don't know exactly. I'm not that steeped in the history. And so that's pretty interesting. And they're bringing on somebody who handled combat for the latest Devil May Cry and a Monster Hunter World and stuff. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited, of course, as I'm a Final Fantasy fanboy. Obviously, I would prefer if they would just go back to making like a big budget turn-based game, but I think that's just in the past. I think that's done with. The Switch. Am I interested in the Devil May Cry games? Not specifically, no. I find like there's just too much like dexterity required in like keeping a good combo, and then I get too much pressure on me for keeping up a good combo, and I don't know. It's not really my style, especially as I grow older and I prefer slower, more thinky games. All that flash and style. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not my thing. Over on Switch, they announced a couple new games I'm very excited about. One is Disgaea 6, which looks well, it looks like a Disgaea game. And the max level is apparently going to be like 99 million or something like that. Just this absurd number. That series has gotten so ridiculous. I love it. So I doubt I'll ever hit max level in that game, but I'm excited to play it for a couple 100 hours. And then Monster Hunter Rise was announced. A new Monster Hunter game for the Switch. I really honestly thought they were putting all their resources just into Monster Hunter World 2, but this sort of seems like Monster Hunter World 1.5, or there's probably a better designation for it. It looks sort of like a sequel to Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, with like the sort of Eastern themes to it. But with Monster Hunter World's mechanics, sort of a step up from Iceborne, with this grappling hook that you can use anywhere, I guess. It looks like it's much more open. It seems like a very ambitious approach for the Switch. Have I played any DBZ games? A couple. I played Fighter Z or whatever, which is okay, and I played through Kakarot, which I enjoyed. Yeah, Rise looks really good. They've given you a dog companion now in addition to your Palico, and you can ride the dog around. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, I mean, anytime there's a new console entry for Monster Hunter, that's always an exciting time, and it looks pretty good. Any opinions on God of War? Oh yeah, they did tease that there's a new God of War coming next year. I'm very excited. I loved the new God of War. I really enjoyed putting together the video, connecting it to different aspects of Norse mythology. I doubt I would do it again. I did it at the time because I was like, I just finished the Norse mythology series, so my head was full of the proper knowledge required, but I'd have to relearn a lot of things to properly do that video. But I'm very excited to see a lot more Norse mythology in the sequel. With Thor going to be getting involved, I assume they're teasing about Ragnarok, so it's probably going to be off the chain, so to speak. I wonder how far they're going to stretch it out, though. I wonder if there's going to be a third game, or if they're just going to have you fight Odin at the end of this one and just, all right, we're moving on. Any plans on visiting another series to explore? Well, yeah, I plan on finishing Dungeons and Dragons by the end of this year. And then we'll get some more polls going and see what happens. I'd like to do one side series every year. So yeah, some definitely exciting games coming out. A lot of them coming in 2021. There weren't too many games announced for next few months, which is funny because we have two console launches, but it's like, I don't know, fucking coronavirus. I'm surprised they didn't just delay the console launches, but I don't think either one wanted to be the first one to do that. And we've got the holiday season coming up. Star Wars Squadrons comes out soon. Let me check the release date on that. I think it's sometime in October. October 2nd. Right, so that's the following Friday, so like 12 days from now. Okay, I'll probably have Marvel's Avengers finished by then. Presumably. So that'll probably be the next Let's Play. Although, I don't know. It might, I mean, the Squadron single player might only be like 3 hours long. We'll have to see about that one. Yeah. That's pretty much that. I'm also putting together a video this week for the different planes of existence in D&D. So, talking about the astral plane, Feywild, all the outer planes, just a general summary. I was going to do one talking about Planescape, and I was like, probably best to just talk about all the planes first. There aren't going to be too many more D&D videos because after that, I've got October, which I'm planning to do 4 sort of October, not October themed, but I guess sort of spookier autumn, fall, whatever, different type of themes like that I always do. I'm going to start with a reading of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow on October 1st. Then probably a video on Jonestown. Then some sort of video of a Lovecraft reading. And then probably a video on the exorcism of Annalise Michel to round things out. There's actually 5 Fridays in October, but I'm going to give myself a bit of a break and only do 4. My favorite SCP is 3001. So it's going to be a very busy October, as it always is. I always cram my October full of shit. "3001" is Red Reality. So that's going to be a month then of just other videos that are not D&D. And then I'll get back to it in November after taking a short break. And hopefully finish things up in December. So there's not going to be that many more videos. I'm done with the bestiary. I know I missed out on a lot of monsters, but I felt I covered all the ones that I was interested in. So now we're just doing a few videos on different other aspects or settings that I want to talk about. And then we'll see what series I do next year. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if like Fallout won. Because I've been seeing a lot of requests for Fallout compared to like, oh, do Egyptian mythology. Which is fine. Fallout is one of my favorite video game series. What would I do if I was in control of the SCP Foundation? Well, I probably wouldn't be sitting here playing Final Fantasy VI. That doesn't seem like something they would do. So I'd rather not be in charge of the SCP Foundation. Fallout has a pretty good bit to cover. I know. Yeah, I mean... And it would just be great to go through and play through all those games again, specifically hunting for every bit of lore. I'd probably do a playthrough series on this channel. And I'd probably use some of that footage in the videos. Which I've never used, like, video game footage before. Oh no, I used the Bloodborne stuff. So yeah, that would be cool. I mean, usually I always put my vote towards Warcraft, but I think I wouldn't mind Fallout. Alright, shit. I'm probably gonna fucking die here. Anyways, I'll just leave it off here. So, We've got more Marvel's Avengers, more Dragon Quest IV. Hopefully the variety stream on Wednesday. I think I'm going to do Wasteland 3, like I said. Two Brothers Play, Chrono Trigger next Saturday. We've got Such Black Light, the SCP video coming out tomorrow. A video on basically the cosmology of D&D this week. And yeah, should be pretty good. I'm glad that I'm well again. It is not fun to be sick. It is good that I don't have to go to like a day job. I don't have any kids or shit. So when you're sick as like a work from home bachelor, you can just focus on being sick, which is good. But I'm glad to be well again. Because I miss recording. You know, that's the worst part. But alright, my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.